Hey guys, welcome back. 4xe Gladiator, let's talk about it. April 8th, 2019. First time I brought home a Jeep Gladiator to drive. And at April, it was sold as a 2020 Gladiator. Not a whole lot really changed on the Gladiator from then until now. And we've been talking about the 4xe Gladiator, which seems for like 2 years now. But our friends at Mopar Insiders released an article, and they're usually pretty good. Let's talk about what we know, and we're going to talk about our conversation we had with the Jeep brand at the Chicago Auto Show as well. So let's get the first question out of the way. When? Rumor is we're going to start seeing a 4xe Gladiator, and there's some changes. In Q1 of 2026, it will be a 26 model Gladiator. Now the changes we're about to talk about are going to hold true for the Gladiator as well as the JL. The JL they'll start producing, sounds like later this year, with the new changes. I'm sure all these new changes are going to be considered 2026 model year vehicles, Gladiator JT or JL Wrangler. So as you know how the Wrangler 4xe system works, there's multiple electric motors, there's an ICE motor, internal combustion engine, and they all have different jobs and functions. One of the current motors in the transmission in the current 4xe right now offers 131 horsepower with 181 foot-pound of torque. Guys, that's going to get bumped up, and we're going to talk about how in a second. That's going to 215 horsepower with 332 foot-pounds of torque. So what's changing? Well, something exciting is going to change is going to be the miles. We're going to go from the, I think it's 24 that's technically advertised, up to 31. 24 to 31 doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that extra few miles is going to make a huge difference in your fuel economy or your fuel spent, or however you want to calculate that out. It will also allow the vehicle to be in full electric up to 75 miles an hour before the internal combustion kicks in. Another nice bump in statistics. We talked to Jeep when we were at the Chicago Auto Show, and I'll play a little clip here of the question we asked about the Wrangler. Honestly, we didn't get very far, but let's roll this real quick. So the 4xe brand itself has been incredibly popular. The one question we're getting a lot of, and maybe you can or can't talk to it, is the Gladiator. We've been teased the Gladiator coming out for 2025. Is that still going to be a thing, the 4xe Gladiator?
You know, you're right. I can't comment on what we're doing, but to your point about how popular it is, you know, the Wrangler's the #1 selling PHEV in America. Grand Cherokee's #3 top selling PHEV. So we've seen a lot of success. I think it is really great to expand our freedom of choice for our customers, and especially on the Grand Cherokee, you have multiple sizes, multiple powertrains, really find something for everyone. And I know we were talking about your Wrangler 4xEs earlier. I personally love them. I think they're the best Wrangler ever. So it's really great to see, and you know, we'll see what happens if we extend that to the Gladiator or not.
Yeah. So it didn't tell us a lot. Here's my thought. We've been pushing the Gladiator out, which seems to be, we were promised it in 25. I think we were promised before. I've lost track of how many times we were promised this vehicle. So at this point, you know there's changes. If there wasn't, we would have seen it already. So they are changing the transmission, which is driving most of these changes in numbers and torque settings and horsepower settings. So the transmission that it's getting is still going to be a ZF transmission. It's still going to be an 8-speed automatic. So right now we have an 8 HP, 75 PH ZF transmission. It's changing to a more refined transmission. We're going to talk about the difference. 8 HP, 80 PH ZF transmission. What's changing? Well, there's some pumps involved that pump the oil through the system. We're going to go down from 2 pumps to 1 pump. It's reducing the amount of actual oil capacity in the transmission. Motors themselves are going to be more refined. Instead of copper windings, there's copper welded rods. There's a lot of changes that are incorporated into this transmission, which are going to increase efficiencies. I also have a funny suspicion that some of this may have to do with towing. I'm sure they need the towing capacity in the right place to make a hybrid 4xe Gladiator. The Wrangler itself has never had a high towing capacity. Gladiator itself has a little bit longer wheelbase, gets higher towing capacity, so maybe that's what they've been holding off. Maybe the 4xe towing capacity is not only limited by a Wrangler, but limited by the transmission electric motors that are inside the Wrangler. Nonetheless, guys, it's coming. They say 2026, here's some great changes. Now I don't think we're gonna see any refresh in the body or inside. We saw that in 2024. So I think from a body standpoint, we're gonna see it. So will they just roll this out for the remainder? The JL 4xe is getting these same updates with this new transmission and new new specifications. So with this new ZF transmission, it's basically much more refined. The transmission is better designed to incorporate electric motors. ZF is an amazing transmission. It can handle a ton of horsepower. You find these in super high-end cars. ZF even makes transmissions you find in semis. You find them in these $300,000 RVs. Needless to say, bad transmissions are a thing of the past. That used to be a thing you used to hear back in the day with Dodge Rams, you know, back then. You don't hear transmission issues with Stellantis products anymore. They've teamed up with ZF, and it's good stuff, and it's only getting better, which is awesome. With this, we're gonna see increased acceleration, which I don't think you need even increased acceleration. Maybe it'll match a 392. It's gonna be pretty darn close. Again, this is what we know on the hybrid 4xe Gladiator. I'm glad at least to see there's some news coming out about it. Now I'm gonna end this with, I will believe it when I see it, but I will say Stellantis seems to be on the ball. Everything's moving the right direction. They're giving people what they want, and they know we want a 4xe Gladiator, and they've bumped the specs, and they're only making it better before we get it. So what are your thoughts? Are you holding out for that 4xe Gladiator? Comment below. And huge thanks to Rob Miller. He posts on our 4xe enthusiast page. Please join that as well. We've got a ton of great comment. Largest 4xe community on Facebook. Lots of great stuff out there. Thanks, Rob, for your insight. And guys, comment below. We'll see you on the next video.